Hey, all you HQDs and survivalists. I'm Mary Kwiatkowski, and I'm back with another episode of Fox's new reality TV show, Extracted. We are back here. We've had a little bit of a week off. Got some bonus content for y'all. Hope you watched the interview I did with Haley last week from season 1. But we're back. Chappell's back. Here we are. Another episode. Big one after a couple episodes with not a whole lot of movement in the charts. Double whammy again. How you
Yeah,
feeling?
yeah. First of all, I'm very excited to be back. Loved hearing you talk to Haley. Of course, I figured y'all would be on the same page because you're that archetype. But bad day for the Mary and Haley archetype because we lose Katie.
I
What?
know.
Oh my god! And
Right after
you
we both
know,
predicted that she was gonna win.
both of you. I was listening to that podcast. I was like, oh, they're predicting themselves. But I was like, but the gums. And
I
honestly, it
know.
feels like it was the gums again. Mary, I thought this was fascinating because this reminds me a little bit, that glimmers of what Sean last season saying, like, I'm ready to go. So I'm going to just pull um, uh, Ryan H, I think, from
Ryan
the
W.
game,
Yeah,
Ryan
Ryan
W
W.
from the
Yep.
game. This wasn't the same because it was obviously not a selfish choice, but there were definitely moments where it felt like they were pulling Katie. But if you had asked her point blank, if she was ready to go, she would have said, no, leave me out here to die. And they had to make the hard decision for her. And I don't think we've seen an extraction like that yet.
No, this was yeah, and I'll say right now, after this, you will hear we have exit interviews with both of the teams that were eliminated this week. So talked with Katie and Emily and Carly, and I also talked with Amy and her husband Skylar. So talked with both of them. Uh it, we talked about the fact that this was like kind of a unique exit here
Yeah.
because as far as I can tell, this is the first time we've had someone who did not ask to be extracted, was
Mhm.
kind of surprised they were extracted, and that the family members made the decision not because they wanted to leave, but because they legitimately we thought we saw it all in season 1, like people getting extracted who didn't want to be, people who, wanted to be extracted. And this was different. This was nobody wanted to be extracted, but they were legitimately nervous that she was having a medical issue. And I think this brings to question, like, what is the medical level that the show will say you have to be extracted? Because they put her in the red. And I
Yeah.
think that was basically, they put her in the red, and Carly and Emily were like, okay, I guess maybe
Yeah.
we have to do this.
We saw something what I don't even remember. Dear God, the seasons are going together. But we saw something once where the producers were literally talking to them about their health. What was it? Somebody, oh God, who was it? There was something going on, and the
Was it the guy
producers.
who was it Woody drinking the water and throwing up? Was it
I think it
that
was. I
or
think it might have been Woody. Yeah, where the producer was like, he's fine right now, but we're watching him.
or
So I,
or was it Ryan H getting really cold? Because
I
remember his
don't
clothes were
remember.
all wet. I feel like those were the 2 big moments I remember of, like,
Of
dangerous
health.
kind of situations.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we only
I'm trying
saw
to look back at my notes.
we only saw the health people pull it like one time. We only saw somebody have a real conversation about someone's health one time. So yeah, this does feel different. But Mary, to me, this is the premise of the show. All this other stuff has been other things that you got from this show. But I think when you say we have people in HQ ready to extract you, it's because they have to save you, right? Like they have to save you from the elements, they have to save you from the bears, they have to save you from the
Mhm.
wilderness. I think that's what the initial idea is here. And then it became, well, the people are going to stay out there. You don't necessarily have to save them because they're not going to get healthy enough to where they need to be extracted. But what if they give up and they want to be extracted? And I think that became the thing. Like, would you extract somebody if they wanted you to? I think initially this was, hey, your loved one's out there. You have to make the decision if it's safe or not to pull them, if it's
Right.
time to pull them. And so I think this is just that one last layer of the show that we've kind of been neglecting is when do you decide, hey, even if production hasn't decided it, when do you decide that it's time?
I think the one other thing we could potentially see would be, like, I don't really know how this would work, but someone for a long time, hours, days, begging to be extracted, and the family
And
just being
they
like,
just
"Nope,
not
we're just
doing
not
it.
doing it.
Yeah.
We're just not gonna
That
do it." I think that could
honestly, you're
happen.
right. You're right. That is the one. I don't know how that I don't see how you don't get just like the most villainous edits, and we'll talk about villain edits in this episode for sure. But could you imagine the way people watching like just get her out of there? She's dying for the love of God. It's just like, nope, not doing it. Sorry. Oh my God, how do you even watch that show from week to week?
I don't know. It would be great. Okay, so I've been looking back while we've been talking at my notes from last season, and the only person that I'm seeing that we had like where the show put them in red was Davina, but I don't remember
It was
anything.
indeed.
It wasn't
Davina.
Davina, so it must. I just don't have great notes on it.
Should,
But
should we run the extracted Wikipedia page? Like, should we just be the foremost experts on it? Because it's not detailed enough.
It's not. It's not. I feel like that would be good. Everyone's always like, "Oh, you got to get on board with AI." I tried using AI the other day to ask questions about a TV show. They don't know.
They
don't
don't
know
know.
anything.
That's what I'm
They
saying.
don't know.
We
And some
we
of
might
these,
need to.
if there's not a fandom out there like updating the Wikia for these kind of things, there's just no information. So
What if we did? No, okay, so that's a lot of work. But what if I did? What's in it for me? Is there like some type of? Do people just do this out the kindness of their
I
hearts,
think
or does
so. I'm
Wikipedia
pretty
throw
sure
them a little stipend?
it's just. I think it's just the kindness of your heart, Chappelle.
God, who are those people? As a matter of fact, if you're one of those people, God bless you, because I love going to Wikipedia
It's a
and having all the
hobby.
stuff. A hobby? You don't even.
Yeah.
Where's the? This is just homework for fun. I don't know why you would do that. I mean, this is honestly podcasting is work, but at least you get to talk about it. You're the Wikipedia guy behind like the circle or something like that. It's like you just quietly get to hear people talk about your good work. Like, yeah, I was checking Wikipedia and I saw that they were on the circle. And you're like, I wonder how that how was that page for you?
What about here's this for an idea.
Okay.
Who's interested in this? A podcast where you just read Wikipedia pages from stuff. That probably exists. I'm sure that's already out there. There's a podcast about everything.
But if you find a glaring like mistake or a hole in Wikipedia, you have to go edit it. That's the only caveat. It's not, you can't just read it. It's, hey, well, what about that one thing? Well, now it's on you to fix it, because I do think there's a glaring hole here in the reality TV world where we don't know episodic breakdowns of Extracted. And it would be really easy. There's not that many episodes right now. I don't want to be that guy, but I kind of be that guy.
You just want it to exist.
I want it to exist. I don't want to be the one to do it. I just want it to be there. And since nobody else has done it, I feel like I have to. But I'm looking at the page. It don't even tell you who's in charge of this thing. Like,
but the thing is,
to reach out to
somebody needs to do this, because there was a show years ago called Hunted that doesn't really exist anymore. I think maybe you can watch it on Amazon, but there's no good Wikipedia page for that telling me everything that happened. And I would love to reminisce.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But someone has to be the person to make that move. Someone has to be the person to take that responsibility on and make sure the rest of the world is a better place. I don't know, Mary. I don't know. I'm gonna think on this one.
Yeah, you keep thinking about it. Maybe you'll need a new hobby. But this feels like the kind of thing. Look, I would never say this. I would never say to do this ever. Never. But like, if you had the type of job where maybe you had some downtime and you were working at a desk, maybe that would be good to do.
I mean, it's not like we don't have detailed notes before we do this podcast. Why don't we just copy and paste our notes?
That's what I'm saying. I could, if I could go through all my notes. I just couldn't scan through them that fast. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So this episode 7, we had some fallout from last episode, because if you remember, it was big rainy night from 2 weeks ago during episode 6. Summer had just gotten extracted, and Summer in the YouTube comments, shout out to Summer, doing the Lord's work out here, giving us more details. She said, because we were wondering, we were like, oh, why is she so cold? She had her blanket taken away from her, but apparently, and I'd have to go back and watch to see how big it was, but apparently her bear skin was like not very big. Like, she thought it would be like a blanket size, and she said it was like the size of a baby blanket, like a quilt. Like, that's not doing anything.
Look extremely warm, especially when you see the reaction that she has when she has it. I'm like, I think the sleeping bag is really the thing that you need the most there. Yeah. They were also, I think I also saw that they were offered a couple other items that nobody took, and so the show just didn't talk about it.
Yeah, nothing seemed that great. There were multiple food items, and in addition to the hamburger or whatever, and I think there was that she said like a mattress pad. Nothing else that I mean if
Nothing game
yeah,
changing.
a tarp would have been nice, but whatever.
Mm.
So during this reign, we had RJ, Amy, and Roman are the three who are really talking about like maybe I need to be extracted during this rainstorm. But in the morning, everyone's still there. So two weeks of coming up next time teasering and nobody left due to that.
They,
So
they basically last like 2 more days before anybody cracks.
yeah.
So this is funny because Roman is like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And then the next episode, the next day, he's like up dancing. Like Roman is an anomaly. Amy, of course, is still down bad. She barely has anything. And RJ is kind of down bad too. He's kind of muttering to himself that he thinks he might want to be extracted. But I love Michaela in this moment. I'm gonna have so many nice things to say about Michaela in this podcast, in this episode. But she says, now I'll decide when you get extracted. And I kind of like it because I think, Mary, we talked about this when I'm in HQ and you're out there.
Mm-hmm.
I know you. I know what you got in you. Me and Fred Dad, we're just gonna be in there kicking it. We're just gonna be chilling. And then if you're like, I need to be extracted, like, no, you don't. I've seen you do worse than this. I've seen you do more. So it's just she knows her kid. She knows that RJ mentally he might start checking out a little bit, but she knows he's got it in there. She's got to push him.
Yeah. I actually have. Let me see if I can upload this image.
Ooh.
So I did something pretty cool recently.
pretty cool.
I was running a race and I fell.
Oh, Mary.
I was running a 13-mile race and I fell at mile 4 of the race. If you wanna go ahead and
you look. Oh my God, is that blood? Mary.
I ran, which is, it doesn't actually look as bad in the picture, but I imagine running 9 more miles with just blood dripping down your arm.
Why would you do that? Why didn't you stop and just go home?
You know what? I got a personal record.
Okay, well look at you.
That's
even
why
with the fall.
I didn't quit because I was like, oh, but I'm doing so well.
My pace was so good. I can't just stop now.
So good. But let me just tell you, this was about as cool as I got. It's a pretty bad picture, but this was me at every single camera. I was like, how can I show off my arm?
Yeah, make sure people know that. Listen, I'm getting a personal best here, but I could have done better if I wasn't wounded.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, make sure you check out the YouTube video to see that. Probably should have done some sort of blood trigger warning. Sorry.
But... Yeah, for sure. But check out at Trail Mary for more Mary content.
Exactly. So anyway, but yeah, I agree. I think Roman's funny. He's very like he's been one of the more steady people. I really do think so much of that has to do with him catching fish. Mm-hmm. Because he hasn't received that much. He had his blanket taken away from him. He caught fish and then he swam out to the thing. So he got a bear skin as well. So he was kind of in the same spot as Summer, honestly.
Yeah, but catching the fish is really going to be a game changer for him because on the one hand, it's feeding him. But on the other hand, people see him eating and catching fish, so they don't want to give him anything. So he's kind of in a spot where he kind of has to just focus on surviving. And then Dallas and Lindsay have to be on the inside doing whatever they can to help. It's not I don't think he's in a situation where they're going to get anything that puts them in a really great position. People might take stuff from them, so they got to be in there making friends and forming alliances or trying their best just to keep him at level so that he can do what he does naturally, which seems like just to hang out and survive. He's pretty good at it.
Yeah. I mean, I this just does. When I was looking at the two teams who get extracted this episode, I was thinking about like so far from at the point we're at now, Amy, Katie, and RJ have by far the least amount of supplies. Amy and RJ still have no warmth. Katie finally got a sleeping bag a few days ago, but before that had nothing. Everybody else had something. So the if you can imagine, like, okay, I don't have warmth, but I'm catching fish, maybe that would help. I just think there's a lot of like any little thing that you have that's going to make you feel like I've got something more than other people would help.
Yeah.
In these scenarios. Oh well. But Amy, yeah, her, her family wants to keep supporting her. It's hard to watch her suffer though. But and also Katie had a tough night as well. So, we got a lot of like sympathy from the family members in HQ here. A lot of like, oh, it's hard when they're suffering and I'm suffering. Meanwhile, they've got like blankets and coffee wrapped around them eating a waffle.
I think the stars of this episode, it's a toss up, but I do think the stars of this episode are Doug's team.
Mhm.
And also Luke's team. I think the
Yeah.
two of them, I think that like they are really emerging as, maybe rivals or by the end of this episode, allies potentially. But seeing kind of how they're reacting to the stuff, we see Luke's team basically being like, hey, all the sympathy and stuff is cool, but if it could just rain again, that would be nice because that could take some of them out. Because Luke is dry.
I don't know that we have had some strategists on this show quite like Daniel and David yet.
No, we
Luke's team.
haven't. Yeah,
Like
no.
they are 100% like big braining this game. And while I don't feel like the breaking glass on day 1 was the best decision, I feel like since then they've been it's so funny because in some ways I feel like, oh, they've kind of like slunk down in the background a little bit, except they're still getting in fights whenever they can.
Yeah, this is strategically they're fine. Socially, they're not great. Socially, I think is their real downfall because I do think I have quibbled with some of the stuff that they've done strategically, but I've always said if you're the front runner, your goal is to keep these other people off your back, and they are doing a really good job of just at any given turn finding the person that they need to stomp out, and just make sure that they can't catch them. And that's the goal, right? You let Luke do his thing outside and you keep all the hyenas and the piranhas and all the people off of him. You got to make sure that he's good. And so they're doing it. It's just that a lighter touch or maybe a little bit more finesse might be better for them because we're getting down to the final 5 by the time this episode is over. And when people need a target, it'll be very easy to target the two of them. So right now, it seems like it's working, but I wonder if with lack of social graces, if they can sustain this.
What do you think is worse? Do you think it's worse to be the team that has like someone strong? So like this in Luke's situation. Luke is out there, he's strong and he's surviving. And he's kind of, at least from what we're seeing, like he's not like causing waves himself. He's not talking any kind of way to the camera or whatever. But Daniel and David are causing a lot of drama. Is it better to be in that situation or to be in a situation where the survivalist is like very cocky and, causing issues, and that you in HQ are having to like kind of smooth things over, but maybe you're really liked in HQ?
I think if you're well liked in HQ, the people are probably less likely to want to burn you. I think that although your person is outside kind of flaunting, they can kind of say, well, look at him, he's doing so well. So don't take it personally when we do XYZ to you. But I think that if it can get really personal in HQ, as we can see, right? And so anytime somebody is taking something or giving something to somebody, they really internalize this. So I really think that you want to be as nice as possible in HQ if you can. You still want to be making moves, but you want to kind of keep yourself in the good graces of everybody else. So I think that's probably what's better. I think of Jake's team last season. He was, him and Haley were neck and neck the entire season. But the thing was, Jake was the front runner. His team was fine. They were just kind of just going with the flow. There wasn't a lot of waves making. He was doing his thing, and they could have easily been playing a more aggressive game like Luke's family is. And I think Luke's family is probably taking the better approach to this. I think that had Jake's family taken shots at maybe Haley or a couple others when they were down, maybe they're in the end with some weaker competition. And I think that maybe Luke's team has learned from those mistakes.
And that's something else we actually haven't seen really on the show yet, which is someone who's the survivalist who is the one causing drama. And maybe that's partially just like the way
there's only so much they can do.
It's like, okay, unless you're intentionally deciding to like really rub it into the camera every time you get something, or like the few moments where you can actually compete against people. I don't know why you would do that. I mean, because it's just gonna come off mean, but it'd be entertaining. I don't know. I like good TV. So we get a supply drop here, and this one is a little bit of a rope dope here. We've got line yourself up in the order of, they say, from strongest to weakest. But then, and there's a little bit of argument back and forth. As usual, Michaela is very much like speaking up for RJ, but I think she gets her way. I think RJ is on the weakest end here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they
Uh,
end up lining up, RJ being the weakest, then Amy, then Luke for some reason. I don't know how Luke got put that high up in the ranking, or that low in the rankings, I guess.
Well, that's the thing. They're really pushing for Luke to get something here, and it does cause some drama. Michaela and Tanisha, when they raise their hand, they advocate for RJ, and I believe it's Holly who says, "Yeah, y'all can be first because we know RJ has the least amount of stuff, and we'll just order people based on the least amount of supplies, right?" So they
Right.
immediately tell Dougie's family, like, "Y'all ain't in it, Katie. Y'all family not in it. Y'all have gotten too much stuff," which of course does serve Holly and Polly's team, because they don't love being on the other end of Katie's team. They've taken some L's to Katie's team, so it does serve them to kind of make sure that Katie and Doug team are last. But I believe, I don't remember which brother it was, but I believe it was Daniel.
One of them tells Michaela to shut up,
Which was crazy.
That was crazy.
I thought that's what. Oh yeah, it was Daniel. It was Daniel. So because he says, if we can't get Luke to the front, maybe nobody will get anything. I'm fine putting my foot down if he can't get to the front. And Michaela's like, that's. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say it's wild, and I think this is what allows Luke probably to get towards this end, because they all want to be weakest, which ends up backfiring. But what's interesting about it is, I was like, look, Luke is in the best spot. At this point, I feel like you almost want to try and just get your way or have nobody get anything, because if nobody else gets anything, Luke's going to be fine.
Yeah, that's true. And for him, shutting this down is like, okay, whatever. Let's keep everything exactly the way it is, because we know I don't want y'all to have anything else. Y'all barely made it through the night. Sure, let's just end this. But Michaela says, "Oh, they're being nasty," and this is when Daniel tells her she needs to learn to shut up. And to that, my mouth was on the floor, because I think someone else said it. Well, why do you think you could talk to her like that? I was thinking the same thing. Like, we all grown, okay? This is a game. We all grown, but let's not get disrespectful. I think at some point, parts of it is gameplay, and then other parts are just kind of mean spirited. And we've seen Michaela and this team get into it before, when she was speaking up on behalf of Katie,
Katie's team,
Katie's team. Yeah. Well, Carly, I believe she was going to bat for Carly. She was just saying, like, optics wise, you don't want to be ganging up on this young woman. And here, optics wise, this looks really, really, really bad too. I think everybody.
I think they just don't care. I think.
I was like, this is wild. Yeah, that's why I said strategically, this is like, okay, fine. Like, these are good moves, but socially, what you tell me to shut up, and you got an enemy for life.
It's gonna result in the same thing. But if they had instead, and maybe some of this was editing, but I feel like the way to do this is just say, look, we need to give Luke something. We're putting our foot down. This is the hill we're gonna die on. You put us there, or we will be the thorn that makes nobody else get anything. You just say that. You don't need to make it personal and tell someone to shut up. You just say that. But
yeah, I would be ashamed.
I do like when Skylar tells Michaela, he's like, they're rage baiting you. They're trying to get you to get upset here.
Yeah, funny that they say this, because I think there's another moment in this where people should probably look at, maybe what the impact of people getting mad is. But you're right. If we can't come to a decision, if we're too busy arguing, then the time runs out. And so this definitely could be rage bait. But again, it's very personal to tell somebody they need to learn to shut up, because I think all the parents and their loved ones are all paired together. And if you ain't my parent or my loved one, you definitely can't talk to me like that. I wouldn't love this. And I commend Michaela for not going off the handle, because I still wouldn't be shutting up about this. I would still be talking about it.
Yep. I don't know if we've heard anybody tell anyone else to shut up.
No, exactly. We've had the first time it's gotten
conversations
like
between Dallas and Lindsay. And there was early beef with Michaela and Tanisha, but that seems to have kind of gotten smoothed over.
Right. But
For the
ain't
most
nobody
part.
told somebody you need to learn to shut up, especially when it's not even a team. It's like, hey, you talk about that amongst your family. You don't talk to other people like that. That's crazy
Yeah.
business. I was very surprised.
You know who I miss? Remember
Hmm.
Lance and Faith?
Yeah, remember Lance and Faith? Remember Lance and Faith, the good old days.
The good old days. Anyway, so they end up lining up, strongest being Roman, Katie, then Doug, Polly, Luke, Amy, RJ. And then they enter strongest to weakest into the room. Now this was an interesting supply challenge drop thing. So they basically are going to have 4 pieces of bacon and everybody has 2 eggs in front of them. I kind of didn't understand the rules at first, and I'm actually not 100% sure.
I think between the
Everybody
two of us, we
treated
can
it
figure it
like
out.
the rules were one way. Oh, perfect. So this is the way that everybody treated the rules. Everybody treated it like what you can do is you can go in and you can move any number of eggs in front of any other person, but for every egg you move in front of someone, you have to smash an egg. Now,
Yeah.
that's the way I assumed that this would work would be like, let's say you take one of Luke's eggs and you put it in front of Amy, and then you could smash one of RJ's eggs, is how I interpret it. Nobody did it that way. Everybody always moved an egg and then smashed the other person's egg. So, like, you got rid of both of their eggs. So they would move Luke's and then smash Luke's other one, is how everyone treated it. And this might just be me misunderstanding the rules because everybody treated it that way. Maybe it's just simpler that way. But I don't know. How did you understand it? Same way?
I'm with you. I think that you and I read this completely, or we read this the same way, and they all did a different thing. But I think we're correct on the rules. You can move it however. If you wanted to come out and take all the eggs and put them all in front of, let's talk about Dallas's, his dilemma here, right? Dallas and Lindsay, they go, and Dallas says, why don't we just put every last egg in front of Roman? He
And
could take
smash all the other ones.
Yeah, and smash all the other ones. Because you can move as many eggs as you would like. You could
Right.
take every single egg and
And
just
if
leave
they
Roman,
did
and then
that, then the game's over because
the game's over.
everybody else wouldn't get a chance.
Yeah. So you
And
come
I
in, they
think
read the
honestly
rules.
that might have been the smartest move because
I think Dallas was right. I think Dallas was right.
because the thing is, the way that this is going to end up is that 2 people are going to get eggs and everybody else is going to get all their eggs smashed. So if that's going to happen, it's almost like you either want to do that or move half the eggs in front of your person and half the eggs in front of someone else's and smash all of them anyway, and then hope that the person that you moved them in front of, who's going to get a
Doesn't just
chance to
come and
go,
take all
doesn't
yours.
just
Yeah.
take all of yours. Like that's kind of what you would hope would do. But like by the end of this game, nobody seemed that upset with the outcome, meaning that I think if you were the first one in there and you had done that, oh well. I think you would just say, look, I needed to guarantee that my person got some eggs, and this was the only way to guarantee it. Because it's kind of prisoner's dilemma. Like everybody could just go in and smash nobody's and everybody gets 2 eggs, but they didn't do that.
That's true. Yeah. And then we don't see the fallout from this at all, because I thought there was some very interesting gameplay going on with this. I'm really surprised that they didn't get into this more.
There was one move in particular that surprised me. Yeah.
So let's kind of go through it, Mary, because I do want to talk about, what like even like Dallas's dilemma, right? He's saying we could just put them all in front of Romans and be done with this. Lindsay says, let's take one from Katie and give it to Polly, because Polly looked out for them that last time when Polly's team looked out for them. And then she takes one from Doug, which I did not expect, and gives it to Luke's family, who she is working with, right? So she's serving the allies. They're serving their allies. So I said, okay, cool. That takes Katie and Luke.
Doug.
Oh yeah, and Doug's directly out of it. But then she takes the one from Roman, if I'm not mistaken.
So what happens is Katie and Doug are now out of the running. They were the next 2 to go. Polly's team is the next one in there. And Polly's team comes in and takes one of Roman's eggs and smashes Roman's other egg. So now Roman is out, even though at this point, and I think Polly's team, I don't even think this is the one that I'm shocked that we didn't get any. Please put in the comments, anybody from these teams. Let us know what happened here, why there was no fallout that we saw, because if you come in, if you're Polly's team and you come in and you see that Katie's and Doug's teams have both been smashed, even if you didn't get to talk to them, you would think, okay, Roman's team moved these things in this order, smashed Katie and Doug's, and look, they helped us out. They gave us an egg.
Yeah.
And so why would you take theirs? Take someone else's. I don't understand why they took theirs.
Well, people think Roman is the front runner, we
Yeah.
can't.
Okay, then I'm looking sus at Lindsay going, clearly this didn't help you trying to do this. I
Yeah, that's
don't
what I said.
understand why there wasn't fallout. And I'm just surprised that for Polly's team, I know they think Roman's the front runner, but isn't their whole thing like, treat us well and we'll treat you well kind of thing?
Yeah, no, they're aligned with the villains now.
How do they justify this?
Everybody agrees that Roman is probably the guy to beat. And so when they I'm sure they could go after Luke's team, that Luke is the guy to beat too. Well, they're aligned with Luke, so they have to go after the next big dog. I'm with you. I was shocked that they did this.
I was shocked that they did this and that there was no fallout.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted to know who was mad about this, because after this, it becomes really weird because I believe at that point we just get Luke's team, right? They come out and they're like, oh yeah, well, we are gonna just take everybody else's stuff, put it in front of us, put it in front of Polly, and then be done with it. And nobody else can get us back. Nobody else can retaliate. We win. She gets the bacon. That puts her even further in front of us, and we still get some eggs.
And so, yeah, they wanted to make sure that they ended up in a spot where Luke got eggs, but that Luke was not the main winner and that someone else would still be a target. And they do that and they give that to Polly. They and I guess it's because they're working with Bailey.
They're
I
together.
mean, but it was smart. So basically the way this ends up breaking down is that only 3 teams, only 3 teams end up moving any of the eggs. Everybody else is smashed by the time they go in there. The one that's weird to me is just that they sabotage Roman's team. That's the one that like them. I get and I think the thing is, if this was any other team, maybe not Amy's team, but I think if this was, and I don't even think RJ's family would have done this, but Katie's team, Doug's team, Luke's team, I would have expected to come in, and even if Roman had helped them, they'd be like, yeah, well, he's a big threat. I'm just surprised with Polly's team because of the amount that they talk about, like, how dare you take away food or, and whatever from my person. That's the only thing that I just feel like this is why I don't understand why we didn't see any fallout from this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have had things to say. No, I'm with you. I think
I'd be upset.
I think when we saw the Bailey and Holly breakdown, I think that was when they broke bad. I think from there, they felt what it looked like to be at the bottom. I mean, we'll even see later on where they hit Katie's team with, now you know how it feels. Like, what did Katie do to you? She been outside with her gums bleeding for 3 days. So leave that lady alone. So the editing, all these moments, Holly's team, Holly and Bailey, they are in the villain zone right now. And from a TV standpoint, I kind of love it. But yeah, the Roman thing was just a surprise for me too. I'm glad we were on the same page, because I was like, I see the merit in taking Roman down a notch, but at the same time, they had just looked out for you. Lindsay is I think Lindsay's too pure for the game. Lindsay's like, no, I want to help my friends, and they looked out for me. And then she goes above and beyond, because she really didn't have to take anything from Doug's team. And it's kind of tough. I feel like, maybe there was some type of karmic retribution there. I don't know. But it sucked. And Luke's team just came and 10 out of 10, no notes.
And the only thing we get from this is just Dallas basically telling Lindsay, like telling his mom, like, we shouldn't have trusted, Polly and Luke, and they didn't return the trust. Like, he's more upset at his mom for not doing the move that he wanted. It's like, you could have done it though. You could have just made it.
He did not step up, and he said, I'm gonna let my mom take the role there. And later on, we will see him kind of put his thumb on the scale a little bit more. I guess he gave her this one, but he did not agree with this. And I'm definitely team Dallas on the move. But it does suck, because Lindsay takes some beatings in this episode. She's kind of emotionally, between Dallas kind of being ashamed of her move and kind of blaming her for it, but then later on what happens. This is not the best episode for Lindsay. This challenge was crazy.
I think with this challenge, there's 2 ways to play this. You go in, if you're first, or if you have the opportunity when you go in, you smash everybody else's eggs and put them all in front of your person. That's, you go big or you go home.
Yeah.
That's option 1. Option 2 is you go in and you, assuming that you have some eggs left in front of you, you don't touch anybody's, because then at least you get to come out and say, I didn't touch anybody's. I didn't hurt anyone. I kept it fair, kept it even. And then if somebody else, and that's kind of like the Sandra move in any game she's played. It's like, you want to be able to come out and say, well, I didn't do anything, and let other people be the bad guy. So like,
Yeah.
do that, or own it, be the bad guy, but say, look, we're playing a game. And it's kind of one of those two things. And Lindsay did a half measure. She tried to help other people, which left the door open for her to be betrayed.
But there are half measures that you could do, right? She could have taken one from Katie, and she could have smashed one of Doug's. You know, like in the way me and you interpret it, you didn't have to smash the person that you took something from, right? We only
Unless
saw
we're
these
just
3.
wrong, because nobody
No,
did that.
but there was only 3 chances for anybody to go. You know, like it's not like there was a lot of time for us to see it. But had they taken one from Katie, take one from Katie and put it on theirs, that gives them 3. Smash one of Doug's, he only has 1. Katie's team goes and they can move 1 and smash 1. You know, and you can do it in a way where it's fair and kind of kumbaya, typical extractive behavior. This is better TV. But I agree with you. The move is, I want my person to have everything.
Yeah.
And also, Mary, what did you think about them making the strong people go first? Because we're like, we line them up from weakest to strongest, and then give the strong people all the power.
The show wanting to mess with people, which I appreciate. It's the same reason they do tribe swaps. You know, keep them guessing. You don't want them to be able to predict everything.
See, I thought this was kind of like where you have the strong person and they have the piece of bread or the steak in front of them. It's like, oh yeah, they're gonna get the first bite, but do they take all of the bite or do they leave stuff for everybody else?
It's kind of that too. Yeah.
Yes, because it's like you could do the Dallas move, but if you're the strongest one and you do the Dallas moves, does that make you look dastardly? Like you didn't need that, like everybody else needed it.
Mhm.
And then if you're in the last spot, is it, oh well, you're the weakest one, but these people were all so benevolent and helpful, and they are all nice people, and so they gave you more. They have so many opportunities to pass eggs to you, so that when you get to the end, you don't have to make the hard choices. You don't have to make any enemies. I really don't know why they chose it, but that's the best thing I got.
Yeah, I guess. And the other thing is, I wish that someone had done the move, interpreted the way we thought of it, because then you could play a little defensively. It'd be like, you imagine coming in, you've only got 1 egg in front of you. You're like, shoot,
Yeah.
I want to make sure I move at least 1 more in front of me. But that's also me assuming that every person would only get to smash 1 and move 1. Because there's no way to be completely defensive if everyone could just move all the eggs.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. But so ends up, Polly gets 5 eggs and 4 pieces of bacon. Luke gets 4 eggs. I gotta admit, look, if I was hungry and I was out there and I'm starving, I'd eat the eggs, but eggs are so not my top choice.
Well, someone said, can we hatch the eggs? Like these are eggs you about to cook.
No, you
but
can't hatch these. And even if you did hatch the egg, you got a chick, that's not gonna help.
How are
it's
they
not like it hatches into a chicken right away.
Do they have a skillet? How are they gonna cook the egg? Or are they supposed to just eat raw egg?
I think. Okay, I'm like making this up. I think they got a skillet delivered to them with the eggs. Maybe I'm so wrong on this. Why? I have a vision, but it might be because of that picture you showed up where there was the skillet with the bacon in it.
There is a skillet in front of there. Did they get the skillet too? Is the question.
Because that's a really tiny skillet.
It's, you only need a skillet per egg, 2, 3 eggs.
Nests with each of the eggs in them too. That's weird. Anyway,
in case you want to hatch them.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
Mary, how do eggs hatch?
I think you're gonna either need some special heat lamps and stuff, or an incubator, or a live chicken. I don't think that's happening. Anyway, okay, so then, hey, look, we had a tough night. We're gonna have another tough night. It's gonna rain again, and Amy has a really hard time once again. You know, she's reached about as far as she can go when it comes to her positivity and everything. Her gums are doing fine, but she's had no tarp, no blanket, no sleeping bag and I asked her, 15 days. That's impressive to me. She's had like almost no fuel through 15 days.
Katie?
Amy.
Oh, you said gums. That's why.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, sorry. Amy's gums were fine. Amy's gums
Yeah.
were fine, but she ends up asking to be extracted. She says her body hasn't given out on her, but finally mentally she's just kind of done. Her positivity is gone, and her positivity was the thing that was keeping her going. And the other thing, and this was kind of like the nail in the coffin for her, is that Trung says that they had like a secret phrase, which was basically her saying, "I want to go home" in Vietnamese. And the second he hears her say that, he's like, "All right, gotta go get Skylar, gotta take her out." She said the secret phrase. She said the code word.
He said the code word. He got right up. He said, "Well,
Yep.
that's it," and to his credit, and to Amy's credit, really, she had been out there for so long, thugging it out that at that point, yeah, whatever she wants, it's not like this is the first time she's hit adversity. She does take this L really hard because she was very excited to get that crate. But this isn't the first time she's hit a wall. This isn't the first time she's pushed through. This isn't the first rainy night. 17 days, y'all. 17 days. Yeah, go get her. It's time, and so I agree. I agree. Go get her.
If we're doing our comparisons, they're not all perfect. They can't all be Haley and Katie's, but like if we're doing our comparison to last season, I think this is sort of the it's like the other side of the coin of the, what's her name? Ashley, the one who was there with her father-in-law and her husband.
Yeah, Ashley.
Yeah.
Ashley, who her father-in-law and husband were like, well, her husband was like, "It's tough love. You're gonna stay out there
Right.
for a little bit longer."
This is like the opposite. It's a similar dynamic, but it's like the opposite. It's like she's just like all positivity, and her uncle and her husband are like, "Look, if she had asked to go on day 2, we would have taken her out, but she
Yeah.
made it this far." So the fact that she hasn't asked at all and she's asking now, it's the real deal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's tough to see Amy go. It seemed like everybody was so sad to see her quit the game because she was very positive for all that she was putting up with and dealing with out there.
and she's one of those people who I feel like if she had gotten just like any one of
Something.
these last couple crates that had been delivered to her empty, because if you remember, she was part of the team with, I think it was Roman, on the raft challenge where they made it their last and got nothing. Like if she had just gotten a couple of wins,
Mm-hmm.
and any of these last couple crates, if she had if Skylar hadn't clocked Carly and Emily finding the power card, and so that they had given, a sleeping bag or a blanket to her, if she had gotten the eggs, if she had not had
Mm-hmm.
did she have stuff taken away from her? I don't remember. It,
I don't
I
remember
don't think
either.
so.
She
I
hasn't
don't
had
think she
much
did.
anyway. Yeah.
But yeah, she basically had nothing. And so the fact that she was doing so well on nothing, I feel like if she had even just a little bit, she could have done, I think she could have been a winner had she just had like one or two things break her way.
Yeah. She made it to day
Because
16.
she's basically been doing as well as like Luke, but Luke's got more stuff because he got all that stuff at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
Well,
yeah,
that goes to show you what we always talk about. Like, if you have the chance to make things better for your
yeah,
survivalists, sometimes you just got to do it and deal with the consequences later.
yeah, exactly. So great job, Amy. Like I said, definitely listen to the conversation I had with her and Skylar. She gives a little bit more detail into some of the challenges she did, and like some more behind the scenes, but they just seem like it was a very positive overall experience for them. So appreciate that.
And Luke's family sees Amy go and then they
Mhm.
go, okay, so now Roman's family next.
Yeah,
Like, they've
right. Now
they've
we have to
already
take
moved
another
on to
one.
their next victims. Okay. I like it.
Yep.
I respect it.
Yeah, they they say they say, people want to play an honorable game. That's not how you win. So they're here to win.
Look, we hear people complain every season of Survivor. The moment you hear honor and integrity, you're like, oh my gosh, shut it. I mean, even this season, it's just like, God, let it go, give it a break. And so when they said we're not about honor and integrity, although I don't really love that, they are like just like exacting their will on everybody. Like, it's not my favorite
Mhm.
thing to watch them making people cry and telling people to shut up. It's not my favorite thing. I will admit that. Comma, but I take that over honor and integrity any day. Like, you got to play the game. Play the game.
Yeah. I'm always going to be a fan of play the game.
Play the game. It's the game. If it's game related, go for it. If you just yelling at people personal slights, this is why Russell Hantz doesn't win Survivor, right? Because it's like there's the game, and then there's you being a jerk, and nobody wants a jerk to win. And so, yeah, play the game, but keep it cute.
Yep. I keep the game to the gaming part. Remove it from the personal, and then I think we've got a winning combination. But
Yeah.
again, in terms of TV, I'm okay with it right now.
The TV.
Yeah. So then we get our second pretty interesting strategic supply drop. So we've got this memory game, and unlike maybe because of the egg thing, when they all could have agreed to work together, but I guess they didn't know what it was. They're told up front there's going to be a memory game. There's going to be boxes. You all go in, you open two, and theoretically, if there was no like talking, what would happen? It was just that each team would go in one after another, open two boxes, and then once you find a pair, that's the thing that your family's going to get. Potentially, even I don't know about if this would be true, but like let's say you're first to go in, Chappell, you find something eventually, and then it somehow gets back around to you without people in front. Maybe you could have even gotten multiple things potentially.
Maybe.
The way they decide to do it though is that they're all going to pick okay, the first team goes in, gets boxes 1 and 2, second team 3 and 4, and they each just open the 2 boxes in a row, meaning you're probably not going to get a match unless they put 2 next to each other. But I guess they don't. They never put 2 right next to each other. But you're gonna do that, and then at the end they will just all tell each other where all of the things are. The flaw that I think with this is this still massively just benefits the first team to go in, which I think is random order. And so like, yeah, you could tell everyone, but like Chappell, if you're the last team and you see the tarp, you don't want to tell the first team where the tarp is.
Yeah, I don't know why they played this so above board. After the egg thing, Mary, I'm out for blood. After the egg thing pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like, all right, hold on, pause. Y'all ain't gonna let us get a chance to go. I'm talking about Amy's team, obviously RJ's team. They didn't even get a chance to go, and that's fine. It's all within the bounds of the game, but this means war. You know what I'm saying? So now when we come in, you're like, okay, let's everybody tell everybody everything, and then you can just go. Hell no, I ain't telling you nothing. I'm gonna find the people that I can work with, and then I'm talking about, and I guess I'm talking about this from Lindsay's perspective, right? Because I feel like you and I both kind of felt massively burned by Holly, not looking out for Lindsay and them. They just did this thing. They gave you an egg. They knocked out 2 of your biggest competitors in Katie and Doug for you, and you couldn't even let them keep an egg, And so if I'm them, nah, we good. I'll tell everybody else what's going on here, but I ain't telling you, and I ain't telling Luke's team.
I'm just trying to think though, because the problem is that if any teams collude and you're like, no, I'm not going to do anything, then you're the only one suffering. Like you can't, if everyone else is chatting, you can't be left out of that. But I do think like what ends up happening, right, is that Doug's team goes first.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when it comes around to the second round, they're going to go first again. But Lindsay either lies or misremembers.
I don't think she lied.
I don't think she lies either. I think Lindsay's above board. I think Lindsay just messed up and she said the wrong box. Apparently Dallas was like, I knew that she was saying the wrong box, but I'm not gonna say it.
I don't gonna tell you that.
And so he doesn't correct that. So Doug's team goes in, opens the wrong box, doesn't get the tarp like they wanted, and they're upset. But like they were just expecting to be told the right thing, because it seems like the one thing that nobody is really being super upfront about is like stating what their family wants. Like he wanted to be able to go in and Doug's family wanted to be able to go in and get the tarp.
Yeah.
And have no blowback and just hope that everyone else helps them get the tarp.
Yeah.
But
they agree.
Like, why would everyone do that? Because that means that one of the other teams is going to be left with the crappiest item, which I'm guessing in this case they're saying the crappiest item is socks. Let me just say, if they're like wool socks, like that's not that bad of an item.
Don't tell that to Doug. But
I mean, I would rather have the wool socks than worms, but that's just me.
yeah, don't tell that to Doug, because Doug's reaction was like, "You losers! They're playing chess and y'all are playing checkers." Doug is really just like, every time he doesn't
so
get something, he's
funny.
like, "Look at y'all, my sons, y'all suck." You're like, "Damn, Doug, get off their neck. They trying." Mary, I hear you, but it does work out for everybody except for the first team, because everybody else did play above board. Once Lindsay messes this up, everybody else gets exactly what they were looking for. It honestly, it looked like, had everything gone the way they wanted it to go, um, or the way I guess Doug and Alec intended. I mean, Doug's team, Alec and Dayton intended it to go. They would have got the tarp, and he probably would have been looking at Luke's team with the question marks probably still, and then the socks probably fall to who? RJ?
Well, so what's interesting is what would end up happening is that Roman's team, just based on the order, I think Roman's team, who went last? What did RJ end up getting? No, he gets, I don't know. Why don't I have written down what they got?
They got a lot. They got stuff.
Katie gets chicken noodle soup.
Mm-hmm.
And RJ's team definitely really helps her get that. And this is still because Katie's team is trying to see if food is going to help the gum situation. Luke's
Right.
team gets the question mark. They're like, go big or go home. Polly's team gets the worms. To me, this is a very clear, like, okay, we're going to look so terrible if we try to get something good. So let's just take the worms, sort of take one for the team, but also maybe she can catch some fish, because we get a little flash sideways of Polly trying to catch fish and not succeeding. Roman's team gets the tarp. Dallas and Lindsay go in and get that. Doug's team gets the socks. RJ's team, they get the blanket. Okay, RJ gets a blanket finally.
He's very happy. Very happy about his blanket.
I think everything works out the same way, except ironically, I think what ends up happening, like Doug's team can be as mad as they want, but if they had gotten the tarp, I think Luke's team steals the tarp from them with the question mark, and that just means that Roman's team gets the socks and has something. Because the way we end up is that Roman's team gets nothing, because they get their stocks, because the question mark allows a team to take something from someone else. And I think at this point in the game, I don't know if there's a team that wouldn't have taken something with the question mark.
Was it optional?
I don't know.
That's the thing. This game doesn't normally let you decide if you're going to take something from people. It's just like, go take something from somebody right now. But that's kind of how the game is played.
I don't know who, maybe nobody who's left at this point, but I think it's possible that a team, I don't know, maybe if they're trying to do a similar move, Polly's team gets the question mark and they take the worms or the socks from whoever ended up with that.
No, hell no. Take no dang socks. I think, well, Holly said Holly's team needed something though. They needed, I forgot what it was. I mean, Polly's team, they said the only thing that she didn't have, was it fire? They said they only wanted one thing. Oh, it was the tarp. I think that was the thing. I mean,
everybody, it's just like everybody wants the tarp, but I think whoever gets the tarp is getting it stolen from them. So you almost don't want the tarp.
Well, unless you already have a tarp. Who already had a tarp?
I don't know if anybody had a tarp at this point. I think this season, like, nobody's getting tarps. Yeah, this is the tarp. I think the thing is, you need to either get a middle tier thing that no one's going to steal from you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you need to go for the question mark.
Yeah, but then at the same time, like, if RJ has been saying, I want a blanket, I want a blanket, I want a blanket, and then, he gets the question mark, he's gonna take the blanket, and then you get away with your tarp, don't you? Or does he just automatically opt out of the blanket and go get the tarp?
I don't know. I'm not sure which one is more beneficial for RJ.
Yeah, like if the sleeping bag is there, our girls, Katie, last season Haley, they're taking the sleeping bag every time. They don't care if there's a tarp out there, if there's a fire out there, worms, a steak. They're taking the sleeping bag. But it's been raining
the last 2 nights, and I think you'd rather keep the rain off you, because if you have a sleeping bag or a blanket, it's just gonna get wet. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, the way this works out ends up kind of working to where nobody can be that mad, because Lindsay and Dallas did a shady move to get the tarp, or, shady. Allegedly. I think what they did was perfectly fine. I think it was perfectly fine to lie in this game. I think that's fine. But because they ended up doing that, Luke's team took it from them. Here's the thing. Luke's team is taking, I think they definitely want the tarp and they're taking it, but they also really specifically wanted to hurt Roman. So I think that this is just a win-win-win for Luke's team.
They cleaned up. That's what I'm saying. When you say people can't be, I'd be mad. I'd be pissed. But I would have been, I think Alec and Dayton are they're pointing their anger at the wrong people. They're so annoyed at Lindsay for lying, even though it's very clear that she's not lying. Like I don't know why. I don't know why they think Lindsay has this in her. You know, I don't think she's displayed that kind of like duplicity yet.
So no, I don't think so either. I don't think
Wait,
I think
wait,
Lindsay's. My
hold on.
question is, why does Dallas
Huh?
admit to what he did?
Oh, I have a problem with that too. But I want to go back to Lindsay. Maybe okay. Would you trust Lindsay if you knew Lindsay was the one who cracked your egg?
You're right. We're saying she's not duplicitous, but
But
she literally just
she cracked their egg, and we don't know why.
We don't know why.
The one we're hung up on the most is why did Lindsay crack their egg?
And then she got it cracked back too. It's just confusing.
Yeah. So it's like she had no business cracking their egg, and then I don't know why. I get again. I think it makes more sense for Holly and Bailey to crack Roman's egg than it makes, because he is a front runner, right? If you're trying to take out a front runner, it makes sense for them.
But it's a ballsy move to crack someone's egg who's just giving you an egg. That's
right.
what's crazy.
I hear you on that. But I think it makes way less sense for Lindsay to go and crack Doug's egg. What did Doug do for this? What did he do to you didn't even give it to yourself. You cracked his egg and gave it to somebody else.
I think there's fights happening we're not seeing. Show us the fights.
Show us the fights. What's live feeds? I need the extra because I was very confused by this. If I knew Lindsay cracked my egg, then yeah, I probably would be like, nah, Lindsay, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Sure, you forgot. So you got 9 and 10 mixed up when you only had to memorize 2 numbers. Okay, cool, bet. Like I'm with them on that one because she cracked, and she hadn't cracked that egg. I'd be like, they was tripping. Because then when we see Luke's team, who is they're the obvious villains here, right? The obvious villains are like, I guess we'll just take this. They're like, see, that's what y'all get, karma. It's like, you're aiming at the wrong people. They're right there. They're right there just watching all of this burn. And good on them because they somehow made it through here flawlessly.
Yeah. And this is kind of 2 L's back to back for Lindsay and Dallas.
And then, okay, now we have to say the words. Yeah, Dallas telling them that he knew. What was that? Dallas, what is that? What is that? What do you gain from that? Why would you share that? Lindsay, why would you share that?
And it's weird because so Lindsay is like, I swear I didn't know, I wouldn't have done that. And then Dallas is like, I knew, I could have stopped her, but I didn't do it. I don't know why he says that. And then the guys, Doug's sons are like, why did you say that? You just basically negated all the apology she did. Now, I don't think it negated the apology. It's just more and more separating the two of them as entities, which is hard to work with. But yeah, this was wild. I have no idea why he did that.
It's such a bad move. Roman just got
Dallas,
targeted
please
by
tell
somebody.
us. You've been in the chat. Tell us what the
Dallas been in the chat.
Was.
Yeah. Listen, I'm with him on, hey, if you got to let the move happen, let the move happen, because we saw Lindsay's not able to make the hard choices, right? When it was time.
I agree that I think if you wanted the tarp, you don't owe it to them to give them the tarp.
That said, you admitting this is giving more people reasons to target you. You need more friends. You don't need more enemies. You're already being targeted just because Roman exists. He's not doing anything to anybody. Y'all haven't broke any pacts with anybody, and y'all are already being targeted. Don't go and get the attention on you when the attention should be on the big bad wolves over there who watching your game go up in flames and orchestrating it in a lot of ways. You're worried about the wrong thing. I would have been like, yeah, my mom, she would have never done that. Oh my God, she would never, even if we did it on purpose, lie, and then go to Dayton and Alec and say, hey, they took our stuff. They're behind all of this. It's them, Polly's team, Luke's team. They're in cahoots. Let's take them out. You need allies, Dallas. But I think he just couldn't help it. He had been sitting on that information, like, it's like you make a big move in a game, Mary, and you just want to take credit for it so bad. And he's just like, they keep blaming my mom for this, but it was me.
I failed, but I knew what was happening the whole time.
Me. I was right. Yeah, exactly. I knew it. I was like, damn it. Fight back.
I get it. So that's life. And we do get a little bit of an interesting interaction where Michaela goes and comforts Lindsay, since they're the two. I think they're both single mothers.
That's what
So
she said. Yeah,
yeah.
but that's Michaela. Michaela's gonna look out for people. Like I said, I can't say enough
I
nice
love
things about
Michaela.
her.
I know,
Yeah, like
I
what
love Michaela.
gold star for Michaela this episode for sure. When she, I mean, she looked out for Carly when she was doing her little backstabby moves or whatever. She looked and she looking out for Lindsay now, despite them having not really been working together. We haven't seen them aligned or anyway. So, she just went to go on a human level, look out for her. And I just think that's Michaela. I just think that's her. She just kind of like, that's her. She's a caretaker, protector type. And that's why RJ's in good hands over there.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. And he's just, he's probably just sitting out there like
With his
we
blanket.
saw him. He's just like, yes, he's gonna be happy for that. Actually, did we see him even get that?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
he hugged it like it was
That's
like
right.
like
That's right.
like
He
a
was
child
happy.
with a security blanket.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Katie and I wrote down Katie and RJ are especially happy. Okay.
Katie cried to have chicken noodle soup. You hungry when
I
you
would
cry
too.
at
See,
chicken noodle soup.
I would personally rather chicken noodle soup than 4 eggs, but that's just me.
I'm taking the eggs here, but the thing that really made me sad was that she cried about this chicken noodle soup because she knew I haven't eaten, and this could be the thing to save my damn gums. This could be it. This is all I need. And the next morning we wake up and they rarely give us the status updates and make it a big thing in the episode. They're like, and Katie's in red. I said, God damn it.
And we've had some people in the chat, in the comments wonder, like, is she getting information from the extracted like health crew about her gums? The one thing I do want to say, just based on what we've seen, is so that they have handheld camera equipment. Like they have their own camera equipment. I don't 100% know if this has got like a little flip around, like one of those little flip around viewfinders, or at the very least, I mean, grab your phone, grab a camera, like you can look in the reflection. I think that might just be it. I don't know if I don't think someone is like, there's no dentist on site coming out looking at her gums and telling her that they're white.
They probably maybe maybe call it in, like a telehealth it. Yeah, but I mean, we do get elimination here. But did you get to ask Katie that question in your exit interview?
So I did ask. She is pretty sure it was an infection, and basically everything's fine. She kept all her teeth, kept her gums. She does say that it was getting worse, and that she is happy that they got extracted when, or that her sisters extracted her when they did, because it probably would have been a bigger dental bill if if she would have had to do other things. Part of the problem, she was thinking, is because also she has braces, and so the braces out there, like any kind of bacteria or whatever, is being also held onto your teeth, and then your teeth are being slightly moved around due to the braces. So there's already a lot of like irritation and things going on with her mouth. So yeah, a rough time out there. She's extracted. We talked about her extraction up top, about how tough that was.
It sucks.
Yeah, it stinks. This is where they are, but she says she realizes she was tougher than she was, and so she lasted 1 day longer than Amy did. She ended up getting extracted on day 16. So
17.
Is that what it said? Did it say 17?
Yeah, 17. Yeah, 17 was the status update day, and that's when we find out Roman's in the green, RJ's in the yellow, which is crazy. Because look at him, got a blanket, and he's just like he's a new man. And then Dougie, who has been complaining the entire episode. We talked very little about Dougie. Dougie is in the orange. It's not looking great for him. And that's when we saw Katie was in the red, and now she's extracted. We'll get an update on Luke's team.
No, I'm assuming
sure he's in the green. Yeah, I'm sure he's in the green. But RJ being in, Roman being in the green, it does catch the attention of everybody else, because again, he's just up dancing. He's doing the Carlton. He's just living his life. And they're like, how does this kid keep getting away with it? And so Luke's team has a plan, Mary, and I need to know what you thought about this plan.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, I think okay. Is it sort of like a enemy of my enemy, like a befriend, keep your enemies close? Is it a sort of like that kind of thing? Because they think that Roman is the biggest threat. And because the alliance between Katie and Doug is now gone, they are like, oh, great. We'll align with Doug's sons now to take out Roman. No, then you've got a problem with Doug still, but I think that's like
Doug's in the orange.
And this is actually something I talked about with Katie as well, is I had asked like what their game plan going in, and they said our game plan going in was to align with some of the other stronger teams because we didn't think it would be beneficial for us to align with
To
teams
align
who
with
are
the
going to be
weaker
taken
teams.
out. Like you want
Right.
to align with the stronger teams. So yeah, David and Daniel approached Dayton and Alec about this, and their plan, which I actually okay, I kind of love this.
Ooh,
I feel like
okay.
we've got Survivor and Extracted season 2 synergy happening here.
Okay.
Because as far as we know, you can use production as a strategy, basically. Can't do that on Big Brother, but you can do that here. They are going to make a fake advantage, and they share this concept with Doug's team. And their idea is that we're going to leak this fake advantage, and we're going to hope that Dallas and Lindsay get it. And that the fake advantage is going to say that you need to let your survivalists know that if they get rid of their, I think was it their fire making
Their
stuff?
fire. Get rid of your fire.
Get rid of your fire.
Yeah.
That if you get rid of your fire, you will receive warmth, fire, and food in 24 hours. Or maybe you have to get rid of your fire in 24 hours and you'll receive it. Whatever. Point is,
Yeah.
do you think like get rid of your fire means put out your fire, or also get rid of your ability to make fire? Like if you have matches left, do you have to get rid of the matches?
No, I think it just means put your fire out. And because he said to get warmth and food, so I think it just means
So
put
this
your
is
fire
going
out.
to end up being, assuming assuming this works and they give it to Roman, and that Roman gets this information and Roman puts his fire out and he still has the ability to make a fire. It's more of a hassle than anything, but it's going to be a real mind F for Roman, who's going to feel like he's been lied to, and especially Lindsay and Dallas, who are going to feel like something happened here, you know?
How are they going to get this information to Roman?
I think just the next time there's a supply drop, they write a mess. I don't know. They're banking on a lot of things happening. If I'm the TV show, if I'm Extracted, I'm gonna be making darn sure that I'm giving the
them a cell
ability
phone. Yeah.
to
All,
or to write a
you
note.
can
Like
call your.
next
You're gonna make
supply
it
drop,
happen.
you can write a note.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I hope I can't imagine that we're going to see it and then it doesn't pan out. But like they show their notebook, they've already come up with a cipher and a code
Crazy.
and Morse code and all this kind of stuff. So I love the ingenuity. Do you think it's
Yes.
going to happen? Do you think it's going to actually play out?
No, and
Okay.
I also don't think Alec and Dayton should be in on this. I think they should run far away from this plan.
Do you think Alec and Dayton might use this as an opportunity to tell other people this plan?
I think
and
they
try to get
should.
Luke out?
Yeah, I think they should. I think first of all, Roman is one of the front runners, but Luke is the front runner. Number one, he is the front runner. You still got to worry about Polly as well. You can get to Roman one day, but right now you are outnumbered. You know, you're not their number one. You're not Luke's number one. You know their number one is Polly. You're about to come in and be number 3 in this alliance. Insanity. I would not do this. What I would do is say, oh my God, thank you. This is so much information. And then I would pull Dallas to the side because he's the one okay. Dallas is the one. He's a heartless man. Okay. He's been telling us all episodes. I don't do feelings. It's hard. I relate to him in so many ways. But he's like, sympathy, that's not really one of my stronger. I don't give out love. That's the person you tell, hey, guess who's plotting against your brother? They got this whole elaborate plan. It's this Morse code thing, da 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 da. But here's the catch. I'm telling you this, but don't say anything. Just pretend like you don't know. Just like, don't say anything. It's going to come out. And when it comes out, that's when we got them. And we can just like, from there on, you have the smoke. You have the proof. Okay. And once the Morse code thing, like if we find a Morse code thing, you know, I'm not lying to you. At that point, we're locked in. Let's take them out. If it was anybody else, I would say it might not work, but it's Dallas, and Dallas got a dark heart. And I mean this in the most competitive way possible. I'm not saying in real life. I mean, maybe he does, but I don't know. But in this competition, you don't want to make an enemy of Dallas. Dallas, he'll burn this whole camp down and forget Roman is even in the game. Okay, he doesn't care.
I don't know, because so far I've seen Dallas talk a big talk, but hasn't actually done it.
He's been saying that he has it in him, and I think he does. I think the fact that he told them that he knew about where that tarp was, that shows you just don't give a damn. You know, like, because that's just bad gameplay for the hell of it. Yeah, I knew. Why? Why did you share that? Because I don't care. He's like, did you watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
you know, that moment, Lady Olenna drinks that poison and she says, "Hey,
Yeah.
tell Cersei I wanted to know it was me." That's just pettiness. That's
Yeah.
it. There's
Okay,
no
so you think it's gonna be
strategy.
that kind of move?
I feel like that's what this last move was. It was just, yeah, y'all are
Yeah.
mad,
I
and
mean,
guess
that
what? It was
I
me.
guess that's the only reason to say it. Like,
Right.
yeah,
What?
we
There was
it's
no
because
strategy in
Dallas is
that.
out
It
here
was
being
just,
Lady Olenna.
I need you to know that it was me because I'm the big bad wolf here. Y'all crazy. I think you go to Dallas with this information and you go to Tanisha with this information, and you honestly, you could probably go to Polly with this information or Polly's team with this information. You know, like I don't think you could. I don't think you should trust it because you know they kind of broken bad. But it could be a 3-person alliance right now with Doug's team, Roman's team, and RJ's team,
Yeah.
and they could just take they have the numbers. It's 3 versus 2. What are we doing?
Yeah, but I think the problem is that there's only so much you can do.
Right, but at least prepare for it. You know, like if your goal is okay, now let's go let Roman get taken out. What the hell is Doug gonna do against you know respectfully? What is Doug gonna do against Polly and Luke? Nothing. You taking out the wrong guy here, okay? At least with Roman, he's a younger guy. Maybe he's a little tired. We've seen him get down to like, you know, I think I want to quit. We've seen him go there. We have not seen Luke even like trip or stumble once in this game. You
You got
set
to get Luke
yourself up
out.
for failure
I think
here.
this is the problem. You don't want to team up Luke's team because he's gonna win.
He's gonna win, but also like you finally got the numbers. It's the 2 of you. It's the 3 of y'all versus the 2 of them. It should be so easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
should be.
I don't know. I don't see it. I don't know.
We'll see what happens, but I don't know. Do we want to go ahead and give our rankings here at the end? Yep. All right.
Yes,
So
yes,
we
yes.
gotta pour one out for poor Amy,
Woo.
and Katie.
Amy and Katie. And I think with 5 people left, that means we can't be too polite with some of these positions. We need a person in every row.
Okay.
I don't play that fancy
You want to okay. So who's at the bottom here? Because I don't think it is. I think it's Doug.
I think it's Doug. Yeah, I think it's Doug. The question is, where do we put
where do we put
3?
Polly? Yeah. I mean, I still think Luke's at the top.
Yeah. I think this is the rank
now. You think Polly's also in baseline?
We haven't seen Polly in a negative light at all.
No, but
at any
think,
point.
Okay, so here's the cons with Polly is that I could totally see next episode. First thing, Polly's hungry, Polly's tired, Polly's whatever.
She just had eggs and bacon.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
If she hungry, Polly, at this point, it's on you.
Maybe she catch fish.
She got worms. You can eat the worms. That lady better not be hungry.
So do you have Roman mostly lower because of the Dallas Lindsay conflict and the fact that people are coming after them?
Yeah, they're conspiring against Roman.
All right, I feel it.
If you leave Roman to his own devices, he can live outside forever.
So
but that's not this game.
Who do you think's gonna win?
I think Roman has it in him to win the game.
I think Roman could win if nobody can take him out.
But that's the thing. They're trying to take him out. So I think that the answer is either I just don't see Team Polly having what it takes to take out Luke. I just don't see it. But I do see Luke having what it takes to take out Polly. I don't think Luke's team is going to bat an eyelash at any of them people. So I think just off the nature of being cutthroat, I think Luke is the front runner. But I think the better TV is somehow Roman managing to dodge these bullets. If Luke wins this game, it's a march to the end, and it's not the most exciting season of Extracted. Last year we did have the question of Jake. Was it Katie? Is it Jake? Jake, is it Haley? Jake, Haiti, Jake. This time it's like, is it Luke? That's the question.
And I can't help but think I'm just picturing if they keep the end game the same as last season and it ends up being some sort of combination of a swim, a puzzle, a race, whatever. Who knows their team the best?
I think I think this is Luke's team.
Yeah,
First of all,
I think Luke's got this one.
You cannot convince me, respectfully, that Dallas is gonna be that locked in to what 4-letter word.
I think Lindsay knows her baby here.
Lindsay might have it. But I think Luke's team has prepared for everything. The fact that they have this Morse code thing, like, oh yeah, we came up with this. What?
Yeah.
They have prepared for everything. They know what the words are. They know what the phrases are. It would be the fumble of a lifetime if they don't manage to get across the finish line, if they make it to the final challenge. But we're at the final 5. Mary, how many episodes are left in this show?
We had, let's see, I think we had 10 episodes last season.
We got 3
So we
more
got 3
episodes
more?
with 5 people? Okay.
Which is surprising because let me just see. By episode 8 last season, we still had.
Because I'm trying to find the episode
Um,
guide online, and I don't see nothing to show us what time. Oh, I lied. There's definitely 10 episodes this this season. So yeah.
I think we're gonna get another because so last season, I think the second to last episode we had no extractions.
Oh, okay. So we're probably gonna get one more
We had
before the finale.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 5 left. What do we have 5 left right now? Yeah, and we had 5
Yeah.
left at episode 8
So it's
too.
about the same.
I
It's
think
about the
just
same.
nobody got extracted on episode 8. I think
Well,
Jacobin got it. Yeah, Jacobin got extracted episode 7.
well, episode 8, we are bringing back the Jacobin challenge. They're getting in the water in next episode, Mary. And so you know how I feel about the water challenges. They make you wet, they make you cold, and that normally can be a game
I lied.
changer.
Ryan H got extracted. No, yeah, Ryan H got extracted episode 8. Nobody got extracted episode 9. That's what happened.
Yeah. I think the
Sorry.
water challenge is what took out Ryan H
We
too.
might get one more next episode, and then we'll probably enter the finale again with 4 people.
4 people. Okay.
Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see. I'm ready
Yeah.
for it. I'm excited. You know what? Look, we here's what we know. We're
Yes.
gonna have a different archetype win this year.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what we know.
That's true.
Sorry,
That's true.
couldn't have it. And you know what's crazy? I was talking to both Haley and Katie's teams, and they're from the same place too.
Oh, yeah. Y'all have just started a group chat, the 3 of y'all.
Yeah. I need to dye my hair blonde. Get some blonde sisters.
That's the
and
only
then we're
difference.
good.
Yeah, but I think yeah, you could listen. If anybody's gonna run a 13-mile race with you with a bloody arm, it's definitely Haley and Katie. They don't have they don't
She'll
care.
tell me all about her book series while it's happening. So
Yeah.
it'll be great. Anyway, all right. Well, thanks everyone for checking us out again. Make sure you stick around for the last 2 episodes. And Chappell, tell everyone what you got going on.
Okay, you can find me on my podcast, recapkickback.com, youtube.com/@recapkickback. That's where you can find me talking about stuff. Mari and I just did a podcast about Tiana Taylor and her chances of winning the Oscar for One Battle After Another. Talked about where she came from. You know, she started choreographing for Beyonce when she was 15 years old. That lady
15.
is 15. And so yeah, so much to learn over there, but you gotta catch that on my podcast, Recap Kickback. Chantel and I are still talking about I Love New York, which is a journey, but we're doing that live on YouTube. G and I are talking about Abbott Elementary, and then we've been talking about some Black reality TV contestants as well, over on her Bet on Black series, all on my podcast, Recap Kickback. What about you, Mary?
Awesome. You can follow me everywhere here at RHAP.
We're
You
here.
can follow me here. I'm here talking Love is Blind. We got the reunion coming out this weekend, or last weekend based on when this episode is going to drop. And then you can follow me everywhere at Frail Mary, some places at Trail Mary to see what's going on. Got some trail races coming up soon at the end of the month. So if you're into backyard ultras, follow along. All right, everyone. Until next time.
Peace.
This is RHAP. We know reality TV.